welcome to my channel, The Ready Nurse Nay. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the realities of transitioning from a corporate job to a nursing job in a hospital. Okay, the realities of that, and I'm going to kind of use like my personal story with it. So basically this video may be really, I guess you may be interested in this video if you are having a career change and thinking about switching careers to nursing field, or maybe if you are in nursing school just kind of wondering, okay, what can I expect if I'm working in a hospital, or maybe you're in high school or something and you're still kind of debating, do I want to be a nurse? No. What's the reality of it? So that's kind of like what this video is about in a nutshell. So right now I'm a med-surg registered nurse and I work at a hospital on one of our units. But before I became a registered nurse, I had a whole work history in life before nursing school, before I went to nursing school. So like I worked in education, where I taught summer school to middle school students. I taught summer school to middle school students. I've worked in social work, where I worked at a nonprofit for case management. I worked at a nonprofit organization and I was a case manager. So I work with people with disabilities and providing them with resources. Worked in retail, worked in customer service. But the longest job that I had before nursing was a corporate job, and I was there for 9 years, and I worked there while I was in nursing school. God bless me enough to be able to work with my schedule. I was in nursing school, but I was there for 9 years. So in my corporate job for a large international company, the perks of that, I worked Monday through Friday. I was off at 4 o'clock every day. I did not work. I was off every holiday. I was off on weekends. I had great PTO, all the benefits and stuff like that with a full-time job. I had all the perks too that comes with working in a corporate office, where we would have sometimes, lunch provided for us a couple times a week, lunch provided for us on the holidays, just all the perks, free coffee and stuff like that for the employees that work there. Huge, parking to park, galore parking to park right there by the building that I worked in. Also lots of opportunities for growth and to like move around in different positions. So it's like if you worked in one position and you're like, oh, I want to learn more about finance, then you could apply for that same position at that company, move to finance, learn about finance. If you're like, oh, I want to learn about underwriting, you apply for the underwriting position, learn about underwriting. Oh, I want to learn about sales, apply for that, learn about that, work in that. You can kind of, once you're in a huge company, it's easier to kind of move around and grow in your career and develop and stuff. So that was a perk about working there. The only thing, sometimes the pay could be capped off at a certain amount, but you can just accept that or learn some new skills and increase your pay or move to different positions. So within those 9 years that I was at that corporate office, I probably moved in about 4 or 5 different roles, learned a bunch of stuff, had a great experience, right? The reality of it, then I went to nursing school, became a nurse, and now I work in a hospital setting. So this is the reality. Which some people know, some people might not know, but the reality of working in a hospital is open 24/7, which means they need staff there 24/7. They're open on the holidays, they're open on the weekends, they're open at night. Sometimes they have call shifts, but they gotta call people in, sometimes mandatory overtime. The benefits and stuff are there, but they may be a little bit more expensive, just depending on where you work. The PTO is a little bit slower than, and maybe not as grand as in a fancy corporate office job. That's the reality of it. So yeah, that's the reality of it. You're working with people as a nurse. You're working with people in the most vulnerable state. Body fluids and things, you're exposed to body fluids, you're exposed to different sicknesses and illness and stuff when you're taking care of these patients. So that is a big difference. It's a big difference. And I think the reality hit like the first week. Also the 12 hours versus 8 hours. 12 hours of nursery, like that's long. That's a lot on your body. You could be moving patients. You could be moving patients in the bed. You know, like you're running up and down halls, making sure your patients are safe, making sure they're not falling or anything like that. You know, like you're running when you're hearing alarms, bed alarms going off. So, you know, it definitely is different. That's the reality of it. It's just, and now there are nurses that work corporate jobs, you know, where they're working Monday through Friday, and that is wonderful. But for those of us who are not working those corporate jobs as nurses and we're in the hospital, you have all that stuff you got to go to. So I think this was just like a little video talking about the reality of switching. That's the reality of what you're going into. If you're switching from like a corporate job or like a Monday through Friday thing and going into nursing, it's gonna be some differences that you just kind of have to go with and adjust with. And you may not have to adjust with them and go with them forever, but starting out, especially if you're gonna be working in a hospital, you're gonna have to adjust with them. You know, some weekends you might have to work, some weekends you may have to work some holidays, you may be on call, you may have mandatory overtime sometimes, and that's just the reality of it. So I hope this was interesting and informative, and like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.